Good morning to everybody. Very nice being with you guys today. And yeah, you're right, Dave. It was kind of tough situations. We're talking that was back 15 years ago, and the situation of the country was a little bit different. And it came to a situation that yeah, these people got upset. They wanted not only that, it was especially a situation with the guerrilla and but they wanted free medication and consultations and money and all those sort of things. Basically, we never accepted that, and they decided to put a bomb on the clinic. So the very next day, I was here in the U.S. with my wife and a couple of bags, and start all over again. It was kind of hard. It was difficult, and but it's been great. It's been a great country, blessed country, and it's been really a very good journey. And especially right after we discovered the technologies and we discovered Naked. Actually, I'm a general surgeon by school, and but I did also an specialization in preventive medicine. We call it public health and preventive medicine. And even though I did that in my country with the university, but I also finished it here at the USF, the University of South Florida in Tampa. And even though I was with these titles, what it caught my attention is when I met Niken, I was aware that I wasn't even able to cover all the areas of prevention myself. And so one of the things that attract me very strongly to Niken is that this was a very practical and easy and good way in order to do it, not only for patients, but even for myself, my family, etc. And probably, of course, I started to see it through my dad. He was having a whole bunch of issues and illnesses, but and then I say, Papi, if we start, diminishing the amount of medication, start doing prevention, control the pain, getting better sleep, looking the amount of toxins that goes into your body, and we could diminish that, especially on the air, the water, changing the habits on nutrition. I was seeing Dr. Gary's speech about that, and it was just excellent. I mean, I was going like, wow, this is information that, is not hard. It's not really something out of this world. It's just a lot of common sense, but also with a very good fundamentals put it in place. And this is what I love this about it so much. It's a very practical way in order to get all this together. And I was seeing my dad going down from 10 different type of medications. Most of them I prescribed myself to him before I met Nick, and going down to only two, improving his quality of life, seeing him just, thriving. And my dad is a guy of more than 80 years old now, and he looks better than 10 years ago. So, he's in a better shape. So this is really amazing. But Dave, one of my really good testimonials about Niken, it has to be with my little one. I have a daughter. She's 2 years and 9 months yesterday, and it's been so great because since she was born, of course, she came to this world surrounded by all this healthy environment. But it is very good that up to this moment, she hasn't needed any type of medication or chemical or supplement whatsoever. She's been very healthy, getting all the stages how they're supposed to be. And so this is a very good testimonial. She's drinking the alkaline, the Niken water since the second day after she was born. She started with the green signs when she was 5 months old. Started the Ciaga at 7.5 months. She's taking regularly the lactoferrin in a diminished dosage. We give it to her. She has her mattress, her naked mattress since the little crib now on her bed, the quilt, the air system by her bed. I mean, just everything around her. And so they say, well, no wonder she's so healthy and doing so great, and just amazing. My wife was able to breastfeed her for a very long time, and it was really impressive. So this is very much like a testimony, and I feel so blessed about it, to be able to practice prevention on myself, and this is basically what I teach others. Now it's a lot easier to do it. Gary, I don't know if you remember at school when we were on those, remember those basic courses, which one of those was physiology, by the way. And in my school, it was a very tough assignment. It was really tough. I mean, either you know it or you flunk it. I mean, you just really need to go with the.
It's usually the make it or break it class. So.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much what it is, you know. And you have to know it up to the minimum detail. I mean, it's just like you cannot ignore anything at all. Same anatomy, pathology, you know, all these areas. But I also remember that back on those times we had what we call the preventive classes or the prevention classes, and it was usually classes that people got the tendency of looking at, you know, just like to the side. You know, it was one of those assignments that it was on Friday afternoon, and half of the class were sleeping, the other half were just doing out there, doing somewhere else, you know. And then you realize that all the things and everything that has to be with that, it has a huge impact on the health of people. So when I did my specialization, then I realized that the 7 areas of prevention, the environment that you lived in, the air, the water, rest and relaxation, nutrition, exercise, and habits. And now I'm just feel so blessed that I could teach people exactly how to follow that, how to do that in a very practical way. Of course, that demands some investment in yourself and in your family, but the rewards are always huge and immense. And that's one of the things, Dave, that really calls my attention about all these technologies, and why I'm so excited to talk about it and, you know, spread the information. And let me tell you something. A lot of the times, Gary, you talk to patients, you talk to people, and our healthcare system is too much oriented only on the part of, you know, treating the sickness or doing rehab. But the most important part is the other one. I remember when people are telling me that, doctor, are you still practicing medicine? And I said, well, here in the US, I'm not doing surgery. If I go back to Colombia, of course, then I'm licensed to do that there. But here, I am fulfilling more than 90% of what we call the Hippocratic Oath, which is to promote, prevent the health, and to teach the people how to be healthy. And we have to make a note on that. Remember, Gary? And that's one.
And to do no harm.
And to do no harm.
And to do no harm.
That's right. And it says explicitly into that. So you say like, well, now I'm on that part. Now I'm doing most of that part, and at the same time being.
You know, that to piggyback on.
Yeah, go ahead.
To piggyback on what you're saying, Dr. P, is that that's why self-care is important. You know, we as a society, from the time we are very little and born, are taught to be consumers of modern medicine. And that's basically treatment. So that's really the whole focus of everything else that we're doing.
That's correct. And the huge important that we have to follow into that. And it's not only important today. Dave, this is going to be very important in the future. Little by little, we are seeing that people needed to know a lot more about how to do that healthcare, because and self-care, because everything out there, it has the tendency of having too much information, too complicated, So people got the tendency of just, just relax, don't do anything about it, but then the consequences are huge, big. So we need to spread this information because it's not only very good for now, but it's going to be absolutely fundamental for our kids and our grandkids. That's no question about it.
Oh, this is really exciting, the things that you're talking about. And you know, over the years, I've met several doctors that have become acquainted with Nikken, and some of the things that pop into my mind is statements like this that I've heard doctors actually say that that Nikken is the greatest breakthrough since penicillin. You know, that is high praise indeed. Someone said that this is the future. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And you know, the way these things work, it's just so much common sense and the value, and especially just day to day as people kind of realize, you know, that drugs, surgery certainly has its place. You know, if you get hit by a truck or something like that, you know, a trauma center, crisis intervention is where modern medicine really excels. But on the other hand, chronic conditions, symptomatic relief is really not the answer, and that's how so many of the new modalities work, is just symptomatic and introducing a whole plethora of new problems. But no problem, because we have a medication for that too.
That's right. That's correct. So very interesting, Dave, to have this conversation and encourage people to start exploring. And very happy because Nikken continues to give us some new technologies, studies, and things that are really going to improve the quality of life of the people that are using. I don't know if there is a specific question in some areas. Usually when I'm doing talks in Spanish or I'm in Latin America, and people have a lot of times a lot of how you call it, paradigms, you know, misconceptions about sickness. And usually, Gary, when I talk to people and I ask them, okay, whatever diagnosis you have, like, okay, an autoimmune disease or whatever, you know, just cancer or asthma or whatever. And I say, okay, have you talked to your doctor about the cause of disease? Why you are so bad? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with your system? Why you have an autoimmune disease that is basically an autoaggression of the body, and they don't know it. They don't know it exactly how the immune system works. They don't know the enemies, the friends of the immune system, how they could improve that. You know, how to balance, how to start acting into that. The importance of sleep, of sound, of releasing stress. It's just so many things that goes in there.
Sounds like somebody got a call. I know, Gary, you have another Zoom that you need to go off to, and so we'll let you head off. But really appreciate you coming on for a little bit for us, and we can stay open for a little while. And if anyone has any questions for Dr. Patino, and with that in mind, Nikken products. When I first joined Nikken, all of them were imported from Japan. Fascinatingly, I saw it embroidered right into the fabric of the bed. You know, the Japanese Ministry of Health license number and things like that. And we can't make any claims in this country. Every country has different philosophies as far as health. But I was really fascinated that the Nikken products were actually used in a clinical environment over there. Very fascinating. But in the U.S. Where we're recording here, we can't make claims. But I think it's a neat idea just to, you know, have somebody with your background, Dr. Patino, and maybe just offer, if I were you, this is what I would do, and I think fitting in with the Hippocratic Oath that Gary mentioned, you know, first do no harm. One of the things I love about Nikken is it's all upside. There's no downside, and so everything to gain, nothing to lose. But again, not medical device, but just advice, but just maybe just instructional and information what we can do here. But let's see, I see some questions here. Have you had any experience with someone with lupus? And what is that, and what can you do to help with something like that?
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, I see the question here on the Q&A as well. Okay. Lupus is one of those diseases that we call of autoaggression or autoimmune disease. Now, we have to understand it very clearly. What is an autoimmune disease? It means that the system that is working wrong is the immune system. Okay. Now, what is the immune system for? Why do humans, we have, and animals, and all humans beings, all life beings, we have what we call the immune system. And the immune system basically is a system designed to defend you or help you out, especially with aggression from the outward. Basically, bacteria, virus, biological threats that you have. Then you have these immune cells that are specialized on taking on that aggression. But also it could mean that there is some situations with your body, like some cells of your body start changing into modifying, and one day it's a liver cell, and then it start changing into some other type of cell, and that causes cancer. Okay, well, the immune system is also designed to detect those cancer cells at earlier stages and just kill them all, and there you go, disappear the problem, right? Okay. In the case of lupus, it's the same thing. Lupus is a sickness related with same thing as asthma or psoriasis or rheumatoid arthritis or fibromyalgia. All these type of sicknesses are what we call autoimmune disease. And what it is that one day the immune system, instead of attacking the aggressor, it switches off and start attacking you. Now, medical knowledge, we don't know exactly what is causing it, but we know a lot of circumstances that increase the tendency for that to happen. All right? So every time you see, like if you have the immune system here in the middle. Now, we know on the medical science that there are some enemies of the immune system, but we have also friends of the immune system. So if you put it like in a balance, right? And you put it on different plates, and you put the enemies on one side, and you put the friends on one side, your common sense will tell you that if you diminish the enemies and increase the friends, then the immune system is going to be more able to balance itself. All right? So therefore, this is what is mandatory to do. In that case, then we have to start naming the enemies and the friends of the immune system. On one hand, the first big enemy of the immune system is called stress. Huge, big time. That's why stress is one of the triggers of so many sicknesses. Okay, well, very, very easy. If you got in a moment, the stress is related not only to the emotional part, but stress physiologically, from the physiologically point of view, stress means that your body starts becoming acidic. It releases a lot of hormones, adrenaline, noradrenaline, cortisol, so many other things that mainly get your body very acidic. And that acidic is not really good for your body. So it starts diminishing the ability of the immune system. The second big enemy of the immune system is toxins, which you call it toxics when they're out there, but when they get inside of your body, it's called toxins. All right. Two of the major toxins that you're having at this moment is either through your mouth or through your nose and your skin, right? And two of the major components of that is, of course, the chemical, the chlorine, the ammonia, everything that they're putting on water in order to treat it. We have to get rid of that, but also on the air that we breathe. And on the air, mainly, there is a study on World Health Organization that says that the air that we breathe here inside of our homes in the U.S. is more contaminated than the air that we breathe out there because of all the vapors, the fire retardants, the chemicals on the walls, the isolation, everything that is inside, plus all this desquamation that we have, everything that we breathe, plus the air conditioning system and heater systems. They added the spora and fungus and all that kind of stuff. So it's basically a very contaminated environment. What happens when you get your body too much with toxins, like with derivates of oil? All the plastic that we are in touch with now, they are made out of oil, of petroleum. The molecule is called BPA, or bisphenol A, and it's basically what is on the water bottles and all this plastic stuff. Every time the temperature on the surface of the plastic goes beyond 98 Fahrenheit or below 38 Fahrenheit, that BPA leaches into the water, and that's petroleum. That's oil that we are having in there. Same as what we breathe. Every time you get chemicals into your system, like for instance in your lungs, and the immune system goes and try to fight those chemicals, they cannot do it. I mean, we call a white cell that is called macrophages or macrophages, and they're huge cells. They go and grab the aggressor, and if it's a bacteria or a virus or a biological aggressor, then it's going to kill it. It's going to call the lymphocytes, and it's going to kill it. But if it's a chemical, or it's something, or a heavy metal, or a piece of mercury or whatever, that is not, that the body cannot do anything, then they're going to come and they're going to say, okay, we cannot kill it, but you cannot release it. You have to, engulf it. So that's how you start accumulating all these toxins, which mainly end up in the fat tissue. So the organs start transforming the regular cells into fat cells in order to store the toxins. That happens especially in the liver. That's why people start having, the transforming into fatty livers. It's not only because of the fat that they are eating. It's mainly because all this fat is used to storage all the chemicals and all the pollutants that are within the body. Now, what happens is that once in a while, the immune system keeps going back and back and back to kill those things. And of course, they cannot do it, they go. Then they come, then they go. Then they come, then they go. Until someday, for some reason, that medical science doesn't know yet, the immune system just triggers. And now, instead of trying to kill the aggressor, now it turns back into your own self and it starts killing you. So it starts killing natural cells. So in the case of lupus, well, it's going to affect the heart, it's going to affect the kidneys. In the case of asthma, it's going to affect the lungs. In the case of psoriasis, it's going to affect the skin. In the case of fibromyalgia, it's going to affect the muscle and the nerves. In the case of rheumatoid arthritis, it's going to affect the bone and the cartilage and the joints. You see? So it depends on what it's going to attack. Then we're going to put a name on it. But the principle is still the same. It's an autoaggression sickness.
The immune system is getting tired.
Your immune system just trigger itself and start now hitting against you. So now your defense is like your army is not attacking the enemy. Now your army is turned back and now it's attacking you. That's why it's so hard, because from the medical science we don't have a cure in order for that to happen. Now, of course, we could diminish the immune system. That you could do with so many other drugs, cortisone, whatever. But then that exposed the people to so many other secondary effects of bad. So lupus comes into that. So your common sense, it teaches you that if you start releasing stress, that if you start diminishing the toxins, that if you start lack of minerals. There is another huge big enemy of the immune system, which is the lack of minerals. Now, which are the friends? The friends are the deep sound sleep. Why? Because you release the stress through the cycles of deep sleep. Proper hydration. Why? Because the cell needs to get very well hydrated in order for all the process to happen, and that's what Dr. Peter Agree discovered in his study, and that's why he earned the Nobel Prize of Chemistry, seeing all these things that are to be added into the water that needed to be alkaline, without toxins, with oxygen, a hexagonal molecular structure, all the things that really going to get into your body, helping your body to detox. The third very good friend of the immune system is the essential amino acids. They come basically on greens, and that's what we call on the J green signs. The next friend is the antioxidants, which prevent, they go to the outer cell of the membrane in order to compensate the oxidation that is there. It takes that electron, that free electron, and it prevents for the cell to get destroyed. That's why we call it antioxidants. They're mainly in fruits. Therefore, you need 5 dosage of portions of vegetables, 5 portions of fruits every day. That's why when you have a handy like Niken with a organic certification, now you're going to start supplementing yourself. The other part, very important, is the intestinal flora. A lot of the immune system is processed on the guts. The other one is processed on the bone marrow. Therefore, you want a very good immune system. You have to have very good bones and very good intestinal system.
Lactoferrin.
Therefore, you need the lactoferrin 1.8 to increase your flora. That's why it's like a boost. See, every time you do that, then people see the results. But it's just that everything is interconnected. Health is not, having a healthy body is not something isolated. We have this tendency of, don't do anything for your body, and the day that you get sick, go to the doctor. He's going to give you a magic pill. You're going to take that magic pill, and therefore, and now you're completely good. That's not true. That's not true. And now we have to realize that the having self-care, learning how your body works is going to react into all of the things. So now, if you ask me about lupus or any other things, of course, that's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to work. Now, on top of that, of course, the magnetism and the far infrared and everything is going to diminish the inflammation, therefore diminish the pain. So the first signs that the people are going to notice when they start using the sleep system, the air, the water, etc., is that the pain diminishes. But it's not, people have the tendency to think that that's the major thing. No, that's not the major thing. That's just diminishing the pain. The major thing is that it's helping the body to regenerate itself. Now, I see the next question that it says that I was asked by
one thought. If you have stress, and of course we all do, if we're alive, that's part of being alive, is having stress. And if you had just an exquisitely good night's rest every night, that's probably the best compensation to recover from stress, is just sleeping really well. And I can't think of anything more exciting than just the Niken sleep system if you want to just really be abundantly healthy, as just a good night's rest with the Kenko Dream sleep system. So, but go ahead. Thank you.
That's exactly, Dave. That's exactly correct. You got it right. You got it right there. And sometimes that you just said, sometimes we have the tendency to think about that very lightly, just to say that, well, is that possible? Is that good possible? Well, it is. So that's why you start having all these reactions. I see a question that says here that I was asked a question by a soldier if the Niken products can reverse some diseases. I will tell this person that go and check on the study of Dr. Blackburn. Dr. Blackburn is a lady, is an American doctor. She did a great study on how the cells work and how they rejuvenate and how they replicate. She won the Nobel Prize of Medicine in the year 2009, and she demonstrated that if you surrounded the cell with the right environment, with the right type of oxygenation and ventilation, hydration, nutrition, and allow the cells to detox, allow the cells to get that rest and relaxation and detox, that cell is going to be able not only to replicate and to become new tissue, but also to get all the life that cell needed to do until the end of time, so you could have a very productive life without an organ failing. So yes, now it's not that the Nikken products are going to do that. It's just that the Nikken products are going to facilitate for you to give the best environment for your body, so your body could regenerate better. Actually, we know it. Listen, the skin regenerates every 28 days. Now, with time, with aging, it's taking more days. That's why the wrinkles start appearing. But it keeps regenerating, like the liver, like the cartilage. The cartilage regenerate every 2 years. Liver regenerate between 8 months to a year. Pancreas, lungs, every organ, every tissue in your body, even your bones. The bones are the ones who takes the longest. They got two types of cells. One is called osteoblast, which they are in charge of producing new bone, and they also have osteoclast, which takes the old cells of the bone and just disappearing it. So the equilibrium between those two is how finally you're going to get good quality of bones. Bones takes about 7 years to regenerate. So yes, your body regenerate. Therefore, it's not like it's going to be a cure, but it is in the sense of giving your body the best way to be able to regenerate itself.
Just help the body help itself.
There we go. I see another question that says somebody has a daughter with shingles. Shingles basically is a virus, and it's a virus that 99% of people had it since they are kids. All the things, the words on the mouth and everything. The problem with that virus is that he goes and lives on the lymph nodes and nerves, and they just stay there for life, right? Now, when they appear, when the immune system goes down. So when the immune system is dramatically down, then they cannot get control of that thing, and then therefore they appear and produce the sickness. That's pretty much what happens. Now, of course, if it has shingles, means that the immune system is very low. And the shingles are just one manifestation of a very low immune system. Now, you have to take care, because remember that the immune system also get rid of cancer on the early stages, get rid of sickness and all that. So the first thing that has to do to boost the immune system with everything that we've been talking, like lupus. Now, I had some patients with shingles, especially in South America. It's a very common question that they got me. And of course, when the people got the mattress, the quilt, start surrounding themselves, only the benefits of the anti-inflammatory effect that it has, of course, it helps diminishing the pain. So the people sees that they have, a better quality of life. But also remember that the shingles, what happen is that the virus go against the nerves, and the nerves are like Dave. The nerves are like an electrical cord that you got the rubber on the outside, and then you have the wires on the inside, right? So the virus goes and eat up the
insulator.
The insulator. So now it leaves all the wires wide open. Of course, if all the wires are wide open, they just touch anything and there goes the pain. So now we need that's called the Schwann capsule. So now we need the body to regenerate again that cover. And that does it mainly, with regeneration, with the impulse at night of the human growth hormone, which gets produced in the deeper cycles of sleep to tell the cells to start producing that. And the raw material to do that are the amino acid that comes on greens and the antioxidants and vitamins. So therefore, there's very important the antioxidants, and on vitamins, mainly vitamin K and vitamin D, in order to get everything done. So this is pretty much everything at the same time. Diminishing the inflammation, getting good proper nutrition, get good rest and relaxation, get very good hydration, and you see how things are going to get better. And I have seen,
like what you were saying, Dr. Patino, a lot of us have it, and it's just kind of latent. It's kind of asleep. And then if we are stressed out or something happens, that kind of allows the immune system to be suppressed a little bit, and it kind of wakes up and flares up. I would like to just mention to everybody, because that can just be really debilitating. It can be horrible, hurt really bad. And, warts, cold sores, certainly shingles, that's all basically caused by the same bug, the herpes simplex virus. And Nican is wonderful for just kind of whole body, but there is a specific thing that I've seen. It's just a little kind of gadget with two electrical probes. And that virus electronically can actually be jammed and shut right down with a little gadget that kind of looks like a shocker or one of those tasers that you get somebody with. You can't feel anything, but if you go to HSV, like herpes simplex virus, free, hsvfree.com. I don't get any commission on it, but I've had one, and I've had several people. I've just told them about it that have just been in debilitating pain, and they put that on, and it just shut it right down, and it went. And so, anybody hurting, I would get one of those. It's a good thing to have in your medicine kit if you have problems with that. Also, they're sensitive to kind of the balance between arginine and lysine. They're kind of antagonistic. They kind of go back and forth, kind of like calcium and magnesium have a reciprocal relationship. And so if you load up on lysine, that a lot of times will shut down herpes or that type of virus as well. So shingles. So, but and also lactoferrin, because the gut, having that in good balance. Boy, lactoferrin is good for everything.
It's good to, lactoferrin, and remember the last intervention that we got from Dr. Naindu? Wow, lactoferrin is just like, it's so wide in variety that I'll just use it. My gosh, I use it for just about everything right now.
Uh-huh. Yeah, if there's a panacea, that's probably it.
Lactoferrin is one of the things that, never be at home without it.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I got Dave. I got another question here that is related with cholesterol and grapefruit and the interaction with progesterone. Always my recommendation is this: if you're having treatment already with the doctor, and they prohibit you from any type of nutrition whatsoever, like with some anticoagulants, they tell you not to eat greens, and for some other things not to eat this or not to eat that. What I really suggest is go what your doctor is telling you. That's it. I'm not really telling the people don't do, because a lot of times we look at Nican like something that is going to get your health back. And I want to make this very, very clear. Nican is prevention. All right? So people say, like, I got another question here that says, actually, two questions. One of them is with multiple sclerosis, and the other one is with spondylitis, ankylosing spondylitis. Okay. Those two sicknesses are the same sickness that we were talking about before about the immune system, right? Now,
same recipe.
Same recipe. Now, what we're talking now is not a cure, because people have the tendency of getting this type of sickness and then telling you, show me the scientific study of how these products are going to get me rid of this illness or going to cure me of my situation. But I gotta tell you something, Dave. None of the nicotine products cure any type of sickness. But I'm gonna tell you something. None of the doctors cannot cure or heal anybody at all. The only one who does that is God through Jesus Christ, and that I believe. But all the rest of it, below it, that is just a matter of getting a lot of help in order to help the body relieve, or applying things to the body in order for the body to heal itself, or getting rid, like if you got an accident, so we put some products or do surgery or plant this or that. So, but coming from the perspective of that, what you do with the nicotine products is prevention. I'm going to explain about prevention because this has to be very clear. Okay, if you have multiple sclerosis, or you have ankylosing spondylitis, or you have any type of sickness, that means that your immune system is working bad, period. All right? Now, this is prevention. Imagine that you have an apple, a whole apple. Perfect. No problem at all on the apple. Okay, that's healthy, right? What is prevention? Imagine that you have the apple and a little piece of the apple is rotten. It's wasted, you know. So why do you use prevention? In order to cure that rotten part of the apple, or just to preserve all the rest of the apple that is complete and that is still working good? That's what prevention is for. So you're not doing prevention to get rid of the rotten piece. You're doing prevention so the rest of the apple doesn't become rotten, like the rotten piece. You see it? So when is better time to do prevention? When you are having the sickness already? No, prevention needed to be done when you are healthy. That's why these products are mostly recommended for healthy people. Why? So you don't get sick. It's so simple. Very hard to understand, but very simple. When do you have to start doing prevention? From the uterus, from your womb of the mother, from when you're a baby. That's why I start doing prevention with my baby. So she doesn't fall into the statistics of the American kids with a lot of air breathing problems, getting all the bronchodilatations and, anti-inflammatories and all this type of stuff. If you do prevention, now your body is going to work better and you don't fall into the statistics of being sick. Now, if you're sick already and you start doing prevention, a lot of the times it's just to prevent the rest of the body not to break apart. Because if you haven't done it and your body is already sick, that means that you're not on the right path. I mean, you're probably going down the hill. So you need better quality of life. You need to stop the problem, and you need to start doing prevention and getting information. Most of the time, I talk to people that are very sick about the 7 areas of prevention. Do you know what are the 7 areas of prevention? They usually say no. Do you know why you're sick? Did you ask your doctor why your body break down and you're sick? No, I think it's congenital. I think no, we don't know. Do you know the secondary effects, adverse reactions of the medications that you're taking? No, I don't. Didn't you ask? It's not important for you to know it. Do you know that the 6th cause of death in the United States are secondary effects, adverse reactions, and malpractice of the procedures that you are receiving? That's the 6th cause of death here in the United States. Not saying by Dr. Patino, saying by World Health Organization.org. Go there, it's public information, put in there 10 first causes of morbid mortality in the US. Even you could do it by state. And there you're gonna see it. So get aware of that and start doing something with that. And the only way to do that is doing self-care. Do you need a scientific study for that? Well, the best scientific study is that if you're sick, means there is something wrong with you. If you're sick, means you haven't been playing good with your body. It means that it's It's like a basketball game, and it's a halftime, and you're losing. Period. If you don't start doing something, if you don't change the strategy, if you don't do something, if you don't put your back court or your front court doing something different, you're going to lose the game.
If you keep doing exactly what you're doing, life will stay the same. For things to change, everything will change, and yeah, that's a powerful thing.
It's very important. Now, if you got an autoimmune disease, and now you know that the immune disease means that your immune system is not balanced, and now you know that stress is a big part, that toxins are a big part, the lack of minerals is a big part. Do something about those things. You know that deep sound sleep helps you. If you know that hydration helps you. If you know that amino acid helps you, antioxidants helps you, probiotics helps you. Do something about that, and start, compensating everything that you haven't done. If you're just waiting for a magical chemical treatment, don't do anything. Sit on your couch, keep watching TV, and wait for that miracle pill to appear. Case closed.
Having a challenge like a disease or something like that actually could be a great opportunity as a teacher to come and teach you how to take care of yourself, and it could not be fun, but it could be a real breakthrough in the rest of your life.
Have you seen, Dave, how nowadays people want a personal trainer to do exercise, or a personal trainer to do finances, or personal training? Okay, we also need a personal trainer to do self-care, because we need to get informed of what is happening and how we could start doing things in order to help our body to do that. The beauty with Niken is that they've been doing this for 41 years now. That's the beauty of it. So they got way ahead of the game. It's like having an assistant coach or a coach telling you how to change your front court in order to have something on the second half of the game.
Fantastic. Well, you've baited us. We must know. So if you could just mention the 7 areas of prevention.
Listen, this is the 7 areas of prevention. Now, these areas, I didn't learn it from Niken. I learned it at medical school. All right? And all the doctors and everybody that goes through medical school, they know it. Well, it's like we were talking with Dr. Gary. The problem is that our health care is not oriented to prevention. Therefore, those classes, there's some people that they even didn't go to the classes. They just pass a test at the end of the year, and that's it, because prevention doesn't give you money. If the people is healthy, then, if you got all the cars and the cars don't break down, then all the, all the places that are for fixing the cars, they will go broke.
I heard a doctor actually make this statement. It's pretty depressing to actually hear it, but he said, sick people that don't die are good for business.
Very much. And the more chronic you get, the better. And that's something that we have to start fighting on ourselves. And so now we need to learn how to do that. Now we have to be able to do something that we really need to go ahead of the game with all the things. They're telling me about if osteodense will be important with lupus. Of course, not because of the joint itself, it's because osteodense is going to get you a better bone. Now, one of the main parts that the bone is working bad is because of stress and acidity. A lot of acidity on the body, it gets the body too acidic, and the body cannot stay acidic. So what the body does is start counteracting that, getting a lot more alkaline. And how the body does that? It gets the more alkaline product that is on the body. And how is it called? Calcium. And where is the calcium stored? At the bone. So the more stressed and more acidic you are, less calcium is inside of the bone.
And bone marrow is part of the immune system.
And the bone marrow is where you get the immune system. So You want immune system properly, you have to have good bones, and you have to get good GI tract. Get those two in balance, and therefore you're helping your immune system, diminish the stress. You see, everything goes interconnected. And of course, the diet part is one of the parts of doing it. But pretending to do everything only with diet doesn't work either, because diet is not air, diet is not water, diet is not sleep and relaxation, diet is not habits, diet is not the environment that you live in. You see what I'm talking about? But now diet is one part. So the 7 areas are like this. First, the environment that you lived in. Second, you find all this information in worldhealthorganization.org, 7 areas of prevention. Second is the air that you breathe, the quality of air. Third, the water that you drink, the quality and the quantity. Fourth, the rest and relaxation, the deep sound of sleep. Fifth, the nutrition, the balanced nutrition that you get. Sixth, the exercise that you do, very important. But in order to do at least a minimum of exercise, you need a body that at least could move. Because if it hurts and aches and pains and all that kind of stuff, you're not going to do exercise. You're not even going to walk. And last, habits, which includes sleeping habits, eating habits, drinking habits, habits like drugs, alcohol, social habits, family habits, environment habits, everything goes into there. So the way that you start changing everything in there, therefore, is going to give you the result upon your body. Interesting, huh?
That's fascinating. So create good habits and live by them. Almost moment by moment, pretty much everything is just kind of on autopilot. We're just automatically going along without having to consciously to think. It's just kind of a vast flywheel inside us that keeps momentum going. And if we're doing the right things, habits can be good. I've heard it said that bad habits are easy to make, but hard to live with. And good habits are hard to make, but easy to live with. And Niken, I love Niken because it's real easy to conform. If you talk to healthcare practitioners, one of the big things that they complain about is just patient compliance, especially like if you get into things that you're actively having to really do, like a physical therapist where they come and work on you a little bit, and then they give you some homework and they say, you got to do this and you got to do this. And you go back for the next appointment, and more often than not, well, no, I didn't get around to doing it. And Niken, you don't have to really consciously do anything. You just go to bed. You just drink water. A lot of this stuff, but also the thing I've noticed about Niken is as you feel so good, you want to go out and do things. And so that's a really cool thing. But let's see, we're coming up to the top of the hour. We could have you here all day, and I think we'd enjoy every moment of it. But is there maybe just some last thoughts that you could give us, Dr. Patino?
Yeah, Dave, very quick, I want to go into some of the questions. They're asking about protein on the urine and how this could help, and also about lead poison. Listen, every time you get analysis that starts showing that some of your organs are not working properly, like the kidney or this and that, it means that you have to go back to the basics. This is just like, have you ever heard about, I relate very much to sports and race car. I like that race car driving and all that kind of stuff. But every time you start kind of going into get some answers, you the coaches and everybody will tell you, go back to this. Remember, you're on your kidney, and start giving the body everything so he works better. Therefore, some of the other things.
Yeah, you froze up a little earlier. Could you kind of start over again? Because
yeah, that everybody, they say something about the basics, like in teams, in coaching. Go back to the basics. In health, will be go back to the basics. Start giving your kidney everything that it needs to work properly, and probably the protein is gonna, all the exams are gonna start getting better. Same thing with lead poisoning. it's not only now lead poisoning. Now it's BPA poisoning, dioxin poisoning, chlorine poisoning, ammonia poisoning. It's just overwhelming the amount of toxins that we are surrounded. And nicotine, what it does is like a slow chelation. It's like letting your body do detox at night in a most better, proper way. So, the better that you could do it with your body, the better you're gonna be. I see some texting here that they really like the conversation this morning. Thank you very much to everybody, and thank you, Dave, for having me with you guys. And just a special recommendation is gonna pay back really very good if we start not only taking care of ourselves, but teaching our children and the children of our children how to do prevention. Very important. Get the knowledge, be proficient on this, and the outcome is always, always going to be good. How good it's going to get you back from a sickness, I don't know. But if it's a small percentage or big percentage, it's way better than nothing.
And if there's everything to gain by using Nican and nothing to lose, why not? And drinking delicious water, getting a good night's rest. Hey, that's just not bad, just in and of itself. Let alone the implications of accumulating that day after day of giving your body goodness. So, wow, you're amazing, Herbert. Thank you for being a guest on this. I know you're going to inspire a lot of people, and I'd like to just kind of say Jerry Middleman, a doctor that I read a newsletter he had before I even got into Nican. On the top of the newsletter, it had this statement that I think is so profound. He said, "May you never know what you're preventing," and a Nican is a good way to do that. So, may you never know what you're preventing, and let's go out and help other people follow that same advice too. Thanks again, Dr. Patino.
Thanks to you, Dave, and thanks to everybody and all the audience. And we'll keep in touch in the future. Thank you very much, Dov. God bless you and bless your business.
Everybody, have a great weekend. Thanks. Love you all.
Bye-bye.